Hello and welcome to True Darkroom, the channel where we explore some of the most shocking and baffling cases of murder and injustice. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're going to talk about the case of Sarah Wisnosky, a 17-year-old college student who was brutally killed in 1993, and the controversial conviction and execution of her boyfriend, Derek Barnaby, who maintained his innocence until the end. Was Barnaby a cold-blooded killer or a victim of a flawed justice system? Let's find out. Sarah Wisnosky was a freshman at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. She was a bright and popular girl who had a passion for music and theater. She had just moved into a dorm room on the third floor of Rogers Hall, overlooking the Lafayette River. She was dating Derek Barnaby, a 23-year-old man who claimed to be a member of a fraternity at Rutgers University, but who was actually a high school dropout with a criminal record. Barnaby had arrived in Norfolk in August 1993 and had befriended some members of the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity at Old Dominion. He shared an apartment with 4 other students and often hosted parties and events there. On September 21, 1993, Sarah and Barnaby attended a fraternity function at his apartment. According to Barnaby, they had consensual sex and then he left to run some errands. He said he never saw Sarah again after that, according to the prosecution. Barnaby raped and murdered Sarah in his bedroom, then dumped her body in the river the next day. Sarah's nude body was found floating in the water. She had been hit on the head at least 10 times with a blunt object, strangled, and sexually assaulted. A leather shoe, later identified as Sarah's, was found on the steps leading to the river, along with a blood-stained washcloth. A ring engraved with Sarah's initials was also found on her finger. The police quickly zeroed in on Barnaby as the prime suspect. They searched his apartment and found blood stains on his mattress, sheets, and pillowcase. They also found a ball-peen hammer with traces of blood and hair in his closet. DNA tests confirmed that the blood and hair belonged to Sarah. Barnaby was arrested and charged with capital murder and rape. He denied any involvement in the crime and said he had an alibi. He claimed he had left Sarah at his apartment around 2:30 p.m. and then went to a bank, a gas station, a grocery store, and a video store. He said he had receipts and witnesses to prove his whereabouts. However, the police could not verify his alibi, and some of the receipts were found to be forged. Barnaby's trial began in June 1995. The prosecution presented a strong case based on the physical and forensic evidence. They also called several witnesses who testified that Barnaby had a history of violence and abuse towards women and that he had lied about his identity and background. The defense argued that Barnaby was innocent and that the real killer was still at large. They suggested that Sarah had scratched her attacker and that his DNA would be found under her fingernails. They also challenged the reliability and accuracy of the DNA tests and claimed that the police had mishandled and tampered with the evidence. They called Barnaby to the stand, who maintained his innocence and his alibi. He said he loved Sarah and that he would never hurt her. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours and found Barnaby guilty of both charges. The next day, they sentenced him to death. Barnaby appealed his conviction and sentence, but was denied by every level of state and federal court. He also filed several petitions for clemency and attracted the attention and support of various human rights groups, celebrities, and media outlets. He became a cause célèbre in Italy, where he had relatives, and where the death penalty was abolished. He received appeals from Pope John Paul II, the Italian president, and the European Parliament. He also gained national attention in the U.S. because of his claim that new DNA testing would clear him in September 2000. Just days before his scheduled execution, Governor James Gilmore ordered DNA testing of the fingernail clippings, saying he wanted to reassure the public. The results came back on Monday, September 11th, and showed that the DNA from only 2 people was found under Sarah's fingernails. Sarah and Barnaby. Gilmore declined to stop the execution, saying the test confirmed Barnaby's guilt. Barnaby's lawyers continued to fight for a stay arguing that the test was meaningless and that the evidence had been compromised. They also requested that all the biological evidence be preserved and tested after the execution. Their appeals were rejected by the courts and the Supreme Court on Thursday, September 14, 2000. Derek Barnaby was executed by lethal injection at the Greensville Correctional Center in Jarrett, Virginia. He was pronounced dead at 9:05 p.m. His last words were, "I am truly innocent of this crime. Eventually, the truth will come out." Sarah's family and friends attended the execution and said they were relieved that justice had been done. They said they hoped that Sarah's memory would live on, and that her case would raise awareness about violence against women. That was the story of the Sarah Wisnosky case and the execution of Derek Barnaby. What do you think? Was Barnaby guilty or innocent? Did he deserve the death penalty or a chance to prove his innocence? Do you think the DNA test was conclusive or inconclusive? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments or on our social media platforms. Thank you for watching True Darkroom and subscribe for more videos. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.